This is the Roselle Hibiscus that's grown from seeds from March of 2020, early in spring in the desert of Arizona, and is grown to about 4 to 5 foot tall bush by month of May. And then as you see here, by the month of August and then September, the flowers are developing and the calyxes are developing and the bush has grown into a small tree literally. These are the fruits. You can make tea out of it, which is great tea, or jam or jelly out of roselle. And this roselle plant was planted in full sun in the desert of Arizona. The fruit calyxes and the leaves are completely edible. And later on, these fruits that you see here, calyxes of the roselle flowers, are the most edible, precious, and delicious treat that you can enjoy in various ways. This plant was grown in the full sun, and the detailed description of how to grow this is found at the link above. And you can see that how it went from a small seed to all these beautiful bushes and flowers. It takes about 6 to 9 months for the tree to completely mature to produce these flowers, and in early fall is when they start producing the calyxes. The calyxes are the fruits, and at the center is the seed pod. We are sharing how to preserve the harvest.
So these are our roselle fruits. I have washed them, and this is the seed pod. These are the calyxes, which are edible, and we want to first separate out the calyxes before we store them. And to do so, you can just basically peel them off, or you could cut the stem off, and that just makes it really easy for the seed to come out, and you can keep the whorl of the calyxes intact as well. If this fruit is left to dry out on the plant, then the seed pod will be viable. At this point in time, the seed pod is too young, it's not viable. So we will not store these, but when I make jam or jelly, I will use the seed pods to extract pectin from them. In this video, I'm sharing with you 3 methods of storing these leaves, and really depending on the space in your freezer or your pantry, you can decide how you want to store or what method of preservation you want to use. So I have washed these well, and I'm going to spin them through the salad spinner so that I get rid of most of the moisture. These calyxes now can be frozen or dried or then used for a recipe. I'm going to arrange these calyxes in a single layer in these pans, and then put them in the freezer for a couple of hours till they are frozen, and then I will store them in a Ziploc bag or in a food saver bag and keep them in the freezer for use later. So these are our frozen calyxes, and I'm going to put them into my food saver bag. So I flattened the package, and I'm going to seal it following the instructions of the food saver. I'm going to change the mode to moist and then press vacuum. Now this vacuum seal bag will go into the freezer. So the calyxes that were rinsed and dried, I have placed them in this pan, and these are going to be dried out. So I'm going to place this pan in the sun for a couple of days, cover it with the twill cloth to protect the calyxes from dirt and the birds. And I'll bring this in every night. You can also use a dehydrator if you have one to dry these out. These calyxes were out in the sun for 2 days and they're completely dry, as you can see. I'm going to store them in a bottle and it should last me the entire year to make a delicious Roselle hibiscus tea. This is the third method I'm using this time to store the Roselle. I have cooked these calyxes down in just a little bit of water. So I cooked it till it was nice and thick and had boiled. Let the mixture cool completely. I have not added any salt or sugar to this, so it's just the Roselle hibiscus. And now I have put this in a ice cube tray. I will freeze this and then I'll store the ice cubes in a Ziploc bag. I'm going to give these ice cubes out. As you can see, they're frozen and these are all our frozen Roselle ice cubes. I have put all the ice cubes in the Ziploc bag and this will go into the freezer. It'll be very easy to make Roselle iced tea using these ice cubes. I'll be sharing various recipes using Roselle on this channel.